What is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, what is going on with you? What is going on? Look, we got another great show ahead of you here within this hour. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune in to another great episode. I'm just honored, as always, that you take 1 hour of your day, 1 hour of your time to, join the conversation. On today's conversation, look, imagine being a pastor doing God's work and getting arrested for it. Now, you're probably wondering, Arrington, what kind of guys work are we talking? What kind of guys work are we talking? Well, look, I'll explain a little more in the show about the story that involves an Ohio pastor getting sentenced for mm, doing something that you could say, isn't that a good thing? How is that a criminal act? Well, we'll talk more about it later on in the show. And also, look, this I don't know if y'all heard about this uh uh Mississippi politician who has I guess you could say pitched a an act or a bill pitched an act or a bill uh that is really not respected, not it is a lot of folks are not thrilled about, specifically men. And I'll just say that the act is called Contraception Begins at Erection Act. Yes, I know. You're probably like, Arrington, where the hell do you get these? Look, this is public information. All right. These are real life stories. This is what goes on in our country here, in our society. In addition to that, I'm gonna move it on the sports world. New York Jets just welcomed a new head coach, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And hopefully, if we have some time, I'm gonna share some more of the first 100 days of a new administration, the Trump administration. He is doing a lot of off the wall stuff, but what else is new? It's on brand for him. And what entertainers um are doing in response to the new administration. And yeah, we're gonna. I think I got a couple more stories, but hopefully we can try and impact as much as we can. But before we move forward, as always, look, you are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do me a favor, if you're watching us right now on YouTube or Rumble, follow us, subscribe to the channel. Uh, Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, positive. If you don't care, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, hey, put it in the comment, put it in the chat. I truly appreciate it. If you're listening to us via podcast, thank you so much. Give us 5 stars. Um, we are available on all podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, um, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, wherever you listen to your podcast. You can you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. Um, Also, let's see. What am I missing here? Oh, duh. You can also listen to us on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of the metro Atlanta area. That's right. We drop new episodes Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on that station. You can also tune in online at WDJYFM.com. So, multiple ways you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. And I'm starting to throw some uh, short audio clips on our podcast platforms. So we're giving you some kind of like some bonus content on there. And yeah, look, we're growing, man. We're growing with our content. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it. Are we seeing a rise in our subscribers, our followers, even on social media? So I truly appreciate that. Before we move it on to a quick commercial, what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to kind of change it up a little bit. We're just testing out the waters. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start off with our fun fact of the day, and then we're going to get it going with to a commercial, and we'll come back. and start the show with some more interesting topics. So, look, my friends, on today's fun fact of the day, which is a tradition we love to do here on the program, just kind of build some knowledge in you, give you some fun facts in your hip pocket. It's a great conversation starter. It's a great whatever. It's good to have those quick facts in your mind, like, oh, it makes you it's like it makes you look fake smart. I'm not calling you guys dumb, but I'm saying I'm not a scholar. But when I have like fun facts I can bring up, it just makes me seem smart. Did you know that thing? So, anyway, moving on. So, our today's fun fact: did you guys know that much of the Earth's water is older than the Earth itself? Did you know that? Did you guys know that? Says here that scientific research indicates that a significant portion of the Earth's water is older than the planet itself, meaning it formed in stellar space before the solar system even existed, including the sun, and was later incorporated into Earth's during its formation. Interesting. So for all you I don't know, what is that called? Like, that's not, I'm about to have a dumb moment. That's not uh aerospace. It all you what there's a term. I feel like it's some kind of ology term. Astrology. Astrology? Is that right? Astrology? Maybe. I could be wrong. But hey, no one, like I told you, I'm not a scholar. I am not a scholar. Before we move forward, look, I want to give a shout out to some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends Ingenious Gin. That's right. Looking for a spirit as bold and refined as you? Introducing Ingenious Gin, crafted with precision, infused with exotic botanicals, and balanced for the perfect sip every time. Whether you're savoring it neat, mixing the ultimate gin and tonic, or shaking up a classic cocktail, Ingenious Gin is your ticket to a moment of pure sophistication. Experience ingenuity in every drop. Find Ingenious Gin at your favorite stores, or you can shop online to Ingenious Gin at ingeniousgin.com. Okay, ingeniousgin.com. The Gin of Thinkers. Do me a favor, please drink responsibly. All right, my friends, please drink responsibly. And you have to be 21 or older in order to purchase that. So, all you ones under 21, don't be a heathen. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't play that underage. We don't play that underage because we are all angels here that never partaked in underage drinking. Anyways, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, my friends. Don't go anywhere. You are tuned in to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these short breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
People, what is happening? I'm your host, Arrington Gavin. Again, be sure to do me a favor, follow me on all of our social media platforms that we have available. Let me go ahead and pull up right here for those who are watching. Excuse me. Woo. I hope you didn't hear that burp in your ears. That is pretty gross. Sorry. Follow us on Instagram, as well as Blue Sky, X, and Substack at the Arrington Gavin Show. I truly appreciate it. Look, our Instagram is growing. We want to keep that momentum going. Also Substack. I'm having a lot of fun with Substack. That's kind of like my open diary, where it's just like, oh, I just want to vent, and I get the happy thumbs, or the happy fingers, however you want to call it, and just type away. Look, that's pretty dope. I actually uh I posted a piece on I believe it was oh man, what was it? It's like it's so much stuff that I try to remember, and my brain is like really like um it's not the sharpest, if you know what I mean. Let's see, what did I money over morals? Oh yeah, because it was in response to the um performers that have performed at the inauguration, which I'll kind of talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But currently, I want to bring up this story that involved an Ohio pastor who is being sentenced to jail for, in my opinion, doing a pretty good deed. I mean, as a minister. And let me go ahead and read you this article. It's reported by NBC News. It says here, Ohio pastor convicted in dispute over sheltering homeless vows to continue his mission. The church called Dad's Place remains open to temporarily sheltered people while it also appeals a separate civil case. Says here, one of the sources of the Associated Press says here, in Bryan, Ohio, for more than a year, a pastor who opened his church around the clock to shelter and give hope to homeless people has been at odds with an Ohio city over the building housing his ministry. Recently, a city judge found Pastor Chris Avail guilty of violating zoning and fire codes in a criminal case. But his battle is not over. His attorneys, who last year filed a federal lawsuit accusing the city of harassing and humiliating the church and its congregants, have vowed to appeal the conviction. Now, the church called Dad's Place remains open to temporary. Let me pause that real quick. A church called Dad's Place is interesting. And the reason why I say that's interesting, and that's not like a shot. Here in Virginia, we have churches, and I guess you can vouch for me, those who are members of faith who go to church. You get a lot of First Baptists this, First Baptist that, New Calvary, Old Calvary, Second Cain, or Second Calvary. Let me see, the mountaintop, New Bethlehem. I mean, you a lot of the names are usually with verbiage that you find in scripture and stuff. It's interesting, and sometimes you know Second Jerusalem, First Jerusalem, Mount Zion Episcopal Baptist Church of God in Christ. You know what I mean? Like, you get names like that. Dad's Place sounds like a, I don't know. It sounds like it should be like a bar, like a man cave bar, Dad's Place, or I don't know, like a place where men learn how to be dads. I don't know, or better dads. I don't know, like a counseling center for dads. I don't. It just seems like an interesting name. Okay, get back with it, Arrington. Says here that the church remains open to temporary sheltered people while it also appeals a separate civil case allowing the city of Bryan to enforce its zoning and fire codes on the building. Now, let's see. Says here that the reason why the city took on the church, Bryan Fire Chief Douglas Poole says that city's main concern is that the building does not have a proper permits the proper permits for people to be sleeping inside Dad's Place. I'll be honest, they're right when it comes to zoning restrictions, and now the building does not have the proper permits for people to be sleeping inside. Look, if you people sleeping in their car, all right, people are when there were natural disasters that were occurring, what did certain businesses happen? If your home was down, look, please, I'm opening my store for you to lay your head down, and we're gonna pull up costs and like. I feel as though when they see the good deeds that they're doing, it's like, how is it illegal? But hey, the law is a law, right? Let me continue. Inspectors first noticed people sleeping in the church a year ago after earlier finding a mix of code violations. Some of the issues have been fixed, but the city says the church still lacks a permit that would allow people to stay overnight. Securing the permit would uh, require costly improvements, including fire sprinklers. Um, Now look, all of this is really showing up as like it's a safety thing, right? It's a safety issue, which would cause now, depending on how, I don't know how many congregants this gentleman church has, and if it's an up and coming church, like churches are nonprofits. It's a lot of you need members in order to pay for these, and if it's coming out of the pastor's pocket, it could be pricey. Now in his mind, he's like, look, I'm he's either I'm speaking for him in a sense like this, but he might be saying, look, I'm gonna get to it, but right now we're trying to do the good deeds and bring, provide an opportunity for folks to lay their head down. And honestly, it's a common thing that occurs in churches, especially smaller churches, because you might have your church handyman that is living on hard times, that he might be staying there. He might not, but I'm saying it doesn't surprise me. I've witnessed and seen folks who are living on hard times. Um, you know, the church opens their doors for them. I mean, that's a lot of folks go to church for answers, right? They go for answers. It will suck for this guy to serve jail, because they're saying um he had received 60-day sentence, along with a $200 fine and court costs. So it's more costly to basically be convicted than just get the water sprinklers installed. Now I will say there are stubborn folks that are members of church that will say, well, look, I'm putting it up with God. I'm gonna put this up with God, and God's telling me I'm gonna get to keep this mission going. I've said this many times. Look, I am a Christian. I'm a member of faith. I believe there is one God, and that is my heavenly Father up, the big man upstairs, right? But I'm also a realist. When it comes to me being ill, not saying that there is not a power in prayer, but I'm also going to listen to, if my physician recommends, hey, look, this is the treatment that you need, this is the medicine that you need. Best believe I'm not going to say, oh no, I don't need that. I'm gonna take it up with God. Look, I could be taking a lot of people off when I say that, but I'm a realist. I'm a realist. That my personal feeling inside is like saying, Arrington, I'm gonna continue to pray for my well-being, but I'm also gonna take what can help me. And if I'm being real and honest, right? So I say all that to say, because I know that's a lot. I say all that to say there's some folks too in church that can be a bit stubborn, and this pastor, obviously, he's rebelling. He's not stopping. He's going to continue to do so. But now look at him. It's costing him. It's costing him money. It is costing him money. Says here that the team obviously has appealed the ruling, arguing no. Okay. The attorneys representing the minister argued no pastor in America, including Pastor Chris Avail, should be pronounced guilty for providing temporary shelter to those in desperate need. Only government officials could say with a straight face that people are safer in the sub-zero temperatures on on the street than inside the warmth of a church. That is a great point that they put up there, because Ohio's cold. Ohio is not warm, especially if it's cold here in Virginia. I know it's cold in Ohio. Um, the mayor emphasized the importance of adhering to public safety regulations, stating that the case does not involve religious freedom violations. The city stated that it remains committed to addressing homelessness while enforcing fire codes for public safety. Look, I get it. Realistically, you're like, how hard can he do? But it's to the point where, okay, what if a fire breaks out, right? What if? Are you gonna be able to just take it out with a fire extinguisher? No, they're saying, look, you have to have some water sprinkles in here to add some assistance to it. You just never know, right? They're just saying, be aware, and it's if it's the law, if it's the city, rules, just follow it, y'all. Lesson learned. You're just gonna have to follow. You're just gonna have to, cough up the pride and just abide by the law. All right. All righty, let me go ahead and fast forward from this story, but it is a sad situation because the pastor is practicing what he preaches, right? Helping those in need. That is in the book. That helping those, especially being a blessing to others. That's what he's doing. He's being a blessing to others. So he in a sense he's getting punished for his wrongdoing, but you also have to be smart with this. So look, let me go ahead and fast forward to an interesting story that involves a Mississippi. I believe he's either a state delegate or a state senator. Let me see if I can find my graphic here, because this story is quite interesting. It is I mean, after you would think we've heard or seen it all, but where is it? Here? I got like a list of like so many stories that I always want to share with you guys on the show, and I don't like put them in order, which sucks because I wish I could just like, kind of label them and say, all right, bet this. Here we go. So this minister out in Mississippi. Okay, so he is a state senator. Has filed a bill entitled "The Contraception Begins at Insurrection." So basically, fellas out there, ejaculating without intent. Oh, okay. I said it. I'm sorry. For all those with their conservative ears, they're like, oh, what is he talking about? Did he just say what I think he said? I did. But hey, there's a politician out there that's trying to push this out. Mississippi senator proposes a bill to ban men from ejaculating without intent to fertilize an embryo. Yeah. So this is reported by WLBT3 on your side, based out of the Mississippi area. Says here that state senator, I mentioned the state senator, Bradford Blackman. The bill would make it unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. So, unlawful for a person to discharge material without the intent to fertilize an embryo. Oh, I just think this is so interesting. This is funny. Okay. There are also fines involved. The third strike resulting in the loss of $10,000 for the perpetrator. In a statement with WLBT News, Blackman wrote, all across the country, especially here in Mississippi, the vast majority of bills related to contraception and or abortion focuses on the women's role, when men are 50% of the equation. Okay, but what are the cases, sir? Because I feel like he knows what he's doing here. He's trying to be seen. Hey, look, we're talking about it here on the show. The bill highlights that highlights the fact and brings the men's role into the conversation. People can get up in arms and call it absurd, but I can say that I can't say that bothers me. All right. So as I continue this, let's see here. It says here, and I'm reading it. I'm reading the bill, Senate Bill number 2319. This is Senate Bill number to the Judiciary Division B. It says here, an act to enact the Contraception Begins at Insurrection Act, to define terms, to provide that it shall be unlawful for a person to discharge genetic material without the intent to fertilize an embryo, to provide for criminal penalties, to provide certain exceptions, and for related purposes. Uh, be it enacted by the legislator of the state of Mississippi. Um, says here that section 1, this section shall be known and may be cited as the Contraception Begins at Insurrection Act. It shall be unlawful for a person to discharge, okay, yada yada yada. Upon This is insane. This is, I mean, it's funny. I bet you men gonna wrap it up. You best wrap it up. You best use protection, because especially if you're in the state of Mississippi. um Says here, okay, upon convictions of a violation of this section, a person shall be fined $1,000 for the first offense, $5,000 for the second offense, and $10,000 for the third offense. How in the world do you even keep a hold? The section shall not apply to the discharge of genetic material donate or sold to a facility for the purpose of future procedures to fertilization in the embryo, and discharge with the use of a contraceptive or contraceptive method intend to prevent fertilization of an embryo. I tell you, man, this is actually pretty interesting, because there was a show. Let me see here. There was a show called, I think it was called Being Mary Jane. It was on BT. It was a period where BT actually had some solid drama shows, and they still do have some pretty good shows. But I always feel like they're in like a back and forth on trying to really how to brand their channel and stuff. Um, there was a show, Being Mary Jane. It starred Gabrielle Union. It was about a successful news journalist out of the Atlanta area who was single, no kids. She had her relationship back and forth, seeing which was gonna mesh. And I guess I wouldn't say she was middle aged, but she was at least in her like 30s. And there was a scene where she was seeing a man who I believe she was aware that he was a married man, but she was seeing this man, and she had saved accidentally. And I'm trying to remember how. Well, I'm not going to say explain how, but she took his sperm and stored it. She hid it. She stored it, and she had that in her vicinity without him knowing. Right, giving her that option to potentially have a child in the future when she's ready. But again, the man did not even know that she was doing that. So it's like, it's interesting. It's interesting. Um, so my assumption is this some form of a male version of a Roe v. Wade, maybe? I really, I'm curious. Um, um, let's see. And proposal. I'm reading um, more verbiage. Actually, there is okay. It says here that Mississippi is one of the 12 states with near total abortion bans, and 8 states have proposed or enacted restrictions on contraception access. While Blackman's bill may not move forward, it has ignited a broader debate about men's accountability in reproductive legislation. Uh, where is this petition to? Let's see here. I'm looking at the comments and things like that. Okay, so there is a video interview because this senator was recently, I think he was interviewed on TMZ Live. Let me see if I can find that soundbite for you and play that for you guys. All right, perfect. I got the clip, y'all. I got the clip. All righty. Go ahead and play that for you all, and we'll chop it up on the other end.
I can't even count how many emails, voicemails, uh, Instagram messages, Facebook messages. But what I will say is, I'll break it down into response from men and from women. From women, it's about 80% positive. Thank you. Finally, you're putting a spotlight on the men's role. There's about 20% of the responses from women that are saying that I'm wasting time, wasting taxpayer money. And then on the men's side, it's actually about 50-50. About 50% are like, oh, thanks for pointing this out. I've got daughters, and it's always about what they can do and what they can't do. So thank you for shedding the spotlight on this. And the 50% of men that are not for it are upset. They they are mad. And it, I guess it's the times we live in now, because since you can just type something and hit send, but like I'm getting some of the most vile things that are people can imagine to that send to me. But it's actually it's kind of funny also in a sense. I've gotten some crazy messages from men, and then the next day they'll apologize because they hadn't read it or hadn't looked into it, and they're like, "Oh, I agree with what you're doing. I thought that you're really trying to restrict the what men can do, what men can't do, but no, you're shedding the spotlight on how everything's about what the woman can or can't do." I can't even count how many emails.
Okay, so I'm okay. Again, I'm slow, y'all, because I'm now it's coming to mind because I'm back and forth with understanding, and this is something that you might know about me. So I suffer with a learning disability, so I grasp things at a very like like late response. So I'm actually happy that I thought of it came to my mind while we're still on air. So this act is actually aimed to prevent men from spreading their seed unless they plan to conceive. Effect so that's the interesting thing. So it aims to prevent men from spreading their seed unless they plan to conceive. But still, I mean, you can still bring that case and scenario because there are, and I'm not trying to, you know, come after women on this. I mean, both it takes two to tango. But that's why I'm always saying, men, you have to wrap it up. If you're out there living your single life and stuff, don't just be out there, slaying it unprotected. Like, I mean, don't be a fool like that. Um, but this is a way, in a sense, to keep y'all accountable, keep you more accountable. It is. I mean, it it is, but I guess you still have to take it into consideration because, um, and I hate to get dark with this, but there are I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to dissect in this, and I'm probably gonna hold on to this story because this is something I need to bring some guests on, some friends of mine in my inner circle to get their thoughts on it. Because this is a lot to discuss, and I don't want to put too much time on this, but I thought this was quite interesting because this again, this is just a state senator, somebody that is at a somewhat of a high position statewide for the state of Mississippi, but potentially on the rise because it's a state senator. It's not a U.S. senator. It's a state senator. What was his name? Let's see. It was Senator. There we go. Um, Let's see. He's an attorney, a member of the Democrat. He's a Democratic Party of Mississippi, and 36 years old, so young guy. He is born and raised from Mississippi. Whoo! You can hear that accent. Um. Okay, so interesting. We'll talk a little more on this. But I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. Take a quick breather, my friends. And when we come back, we'll have more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So do me a favor, don't go anywhere. We got a lot more in store for you all. So yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this commercial break. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, I'm your homie, your friend, Arrington Gavin. Let's get it going with the program. Let me go. So, next up, as I mentioned earlier in the show, New York Jets. Let's bring it on to sports, okay? New York Jets that welcomed a new head coach in Aaron Glenn. He is a former NFL player, and has a great career. Had a great career, excuse me, as a player, and he was the defensive coordinator, I believe, for the Detroit Lions. So, like I said, quite successful. And so, being that they had such an amazing season, I mean, this past season, what they had like 14 wins, maybe 15 wins, and he and again, yeah, he had a great career with them, but he also is a former player that played for the New York Jets from 94 to 2001. His career, he had a successful career with the New York Jets. I believe he played from 94 to 08, so a good long career. A first round draft pick in the 94 draft. He then went on to have a career as an assistant coach with the Cleveland Browns. Looks like here, New Orleans Saints, Detroit Lions as the defensive coordinator from 2021 to 2024. Yep. So, no coaching experience as far as the head coach. This is his first big break coaching, being the head of a NFL franchise. Now, the rough part is the fact that it's the New York Jets. To me, I feel like the New York Jets, that's where you go if you want to, your career to suffer. Okay. If you want to, please, the Jets is not a squad to start with. Well, I don't think that should be the first team you should start being the head coach. But I get it, because it's like, hey, look, are they allowing him to grow his career as a head coach? Because it's a hard position that these guys have when they're head coaching a franchise, because they hire you because they want to win. All right, they hire you because specifically they want to win. And so let me go ahead and load. There we go. It's not that kind of I'm having some difficulties with my computer. Oh, there we go. So it's not that kind of a like all roses kind of feeling. The fact that, okay, this is my first time being a head coach. Ooh, and I happen to be coaching one of the worst teams and franchises right now in the past, like what? I feel like 10 years, maybe even longer. So what do I do? Like, are they going to provide me an opportunity to have a long? Because they did pretty good with their previous head coach. I think Robert Saleh, who was the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, again, had a successful run with them, but as a head coach, not that quite successful. But he was there for, I think, 2 to 3 years, at least 3 years. This past season, they had a record of 5-12. 5 wins, 12 losses. Not good at all. Not good at all. They fired Salehi during the season. So yeah, you bring this new guy. He's hype. He's passionate. Shout out. He's African American. Boom. Proud to always see our black head coaches. But this is what he had to say in regards to just, the opportunity, what to expect in the upcoming season. Like his words, not mine. Let me go and play it for you guys.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges becomes opportunity, gets opportunity. But here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this. Put your seatbelts on and get ready.
Oh, coach. We love the excitement. We love the passion, right? We love the confidence. You know how many head coaches has said that pretty much the same thing you just said? You know how many? No? Still waiting for that. So you don't. Okay, so let me tell you. Let me just pull up how many coaches have been a head coach for the New York Jets in, like, I'll just say the past, I'm gonna say 10 years. Okay, New York Jets. Alrighty. In just the past 10 years, okay, so it says here, okay, for 5 years you had Herm Edwards, all right, from 2001 to 2005. Now, Herm Edwards is a he's a popular personality. Successful head coach is choppy, but he always gets a job. I will say that. He's respected in the NFL because he's always getting a job. He coached what? Did he coach the Chiefs? He coached more than just the Jets as far as a head coach. Damn, did he coach the Chiefs? I know he coached in college at Arizona State for a minute. But he was like I said, great personnel. He coached okay, yeah, so it was the Jets, Chiefs, and Arizona State. So boom, that's what those are his positions as a head coach. Coaching record 54 wins, 74 losses. 2 postseason wins, 4 losses. Not that good, but obviously he has the IQ as far as when it comes to coaching. Okay, after him was Eric Mangini from 06 to 08. Rex Ryan from 2009 to 2014. Now, personally, Rex was probably, out of this number of coaches in the past 10 years, Rex was, and actually that's more than 10 years, but Rex was their most successful, in my opinion, because I think for like 2 straight seasons they made it to the conference championship game. All right. When have you ever heard the New York Jets make it to the conference championship game with the quarterback from USC and Mark Sanchez, who eventually career kind of diminished after the butt fumble? Y'all can go back and look that up. The butt fumble. Adam Gase, excuse me. Coach from 2019 to 2020. Then Robert Saleh, 2021 to 2022. 2024, and now I'm sorry, also Todd Bowles. I forgot he coached the Jets from 2015 to 2018. So I mean, notable names, but not successful seasons. So let's see what Glenn will do. I don't, hey, he it could be his time. It could be his time. The big question is Aaron Rodgers going to stay one more year with the New York Jets, because he had an awful season with the Jets. This was his second year, because the year prior he was out for the season after 4 plays, and boom, he tears his Achilles. I mean, just boom, it was over from there. He did play this season, not quite good. I don't think he continued on later within the in the season. He's kind of doing his own thing. He's like 42, 43 years old. A lot of folks are saying, okay, but this man's done. He's retired while he's somewhat still on top. But the question is, would he stay? If not, okay. I mean, if so, the guy has a known quarterback. I mean, a multi-time MVP, Super Bowl champ as well. Hey, could we have that confidence and boost around him? We don't know, y'all. We don't know, but I'm praying. I'm hoping that the New York Jets will have some success. Right? I'm a New York fan. Not when it comes to football, mainly basketball, but all my my family is from the New York area, so I root for the Giants and Jets, the Islanders, the Rangers, anything New York I'm always rooting for. So I'm hoping and praying that, hey, you might have an awakening that happens for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna moving on. We're doing good with time. Still might not get a hold of all of our stories, but I at least want to share some of the good and popular ones. You know what I mean? Some of the good ones. Let me. I'm gonna look at what time. Okay, let me move it on. So, comedian, actress, radio host, music artist. I mean, singer, Amanda Seales. She truly is a woman with many titles and many hats. She is somebody I have a lot of respect for. Some days she gets on my nerves. Some days I don't agree with certain things she says, and some days I agree 100% with her. And I'm like, ooh, she's making so much sense. She's very passionate. She's an advocate, individual, right? Especially when it comes to Black people, African Americans, minorities in general, women. She is all the way up, and she will criticize whoever is needs to be criticized. In responses to the first 100 days of the Trump administration, to the DEI issue, because he is signing executive order to end DEI programs. So a lot of companies have been doing so. I've talked about that on the last show. Here's what, let me to make it easier, let me just play this soundbite that she shared on social media, because she is boycotting and she ain't playing around. So let me go ahead and pull up this clip of the one and only Miss Amanda Seales. Miss Amanda Seales. Let me go ahead and find that for you all. Man. Oh, and she was also on the star from Insecure too. Yeah, that was my show. All right. Let me go ahead and play this for you guys.
Please listen and share this. Okay, so I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm going to lose money, considerable money, by leaving Meta. I'm going to lose considerable money because I lose considerable access to folks who have been following me for quite a long time. I would rather not lose my integrity. So February 1st, I will not be here no more. You can watch my show on YouTube, Amanda Seales TV, I will still post content there in terms of shorts. You can sign up for my newsletter so that you can know when I'm doing drops and when I'm doing performances, etc. What Would the Ancestors Say will be at Lincoln Center in New York on February 22nd. And you can subscribe to my Patreon. It's $5 a month. $5 a month. And if you don't got $5 a month, you can at least still show up at YouTube and subscribe to the free Patreon, where you sometimes get content. And if you're feeling compelled, you can upgrade. But I'm seeing folks talk about Target. I have my thoughts about that on my Patreon. And I'm just going to show you better than I can tell you. I decided a year ago to downgrade my life so that I wouldn't have to continue to depend on capitalism and enabling and being a part of these systems in the same way in order to keep up what I consider to be like my lifestyle. And no, I don't have children, and no, I'm not disabled. So I am fortunate to not have certain things like that on my back and on my head. That being said, I significantly lowered my overhead when I moved. I'm in the middle of a boycott of Amazon. I've been boycotting McDonald's and Starbucks for over a year now. And now my boycott of Meta will begin. And it's going to be the first boycott, though, that will affect me directly monetarily. And it is what is necessary. That's why you do it. Because it's what is necessary, not just because of the good of the people, but the good of your soul. Ba-dum-bum. Please listen.
So, you heard it right there from the very passionate Amanda Seales. So, yeah, she said it right there. She is boycotting Meta. She is leaving Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, two social media entities that, in my opinion, is can be very lucrative for public figures and for influencers and content creators. It's one of the largest social media platforms out there. I'm a fan of both, huge fan of both. I use probably Instagram a lot more than I do with Facebook. But she's very passionate. What she is saying is not wrong. I think this one I kind of like, I hear her, but I'm just not that bold to make that leap, girl. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. But please do continue to support Amanda Seales by subscribing to her channel. I'm a subscriber myself. Subscribe to the Amanda Seales TV. She has, she mentioned all her platforms where you can contact her. Now, usually in a case like this, I'll be like, well, the place that she's boycotting, there's alternatives. Like, who cares if she boycotts McDonald's? There's other fast food chains out there, independent fast food chains. There's other places you can find. You can get burgers and fries and nuggets. All right, boom, that's fine. Walmart. There's other, grocery stores that you can shop and get your materials, clothes, produce, all the other stuff. Fine, that's cool. Amazon, ew, that can be a little tough. But I've mentioned on the last show, there is a black-owned company called We Buy Black, which in my opinion is the black version of Amazon. A lot of the there's over hundreds and hundreds of minority-owned businesses, from laundry detergent to toothpaste to clothes to men's grooming, health and beauty. I mean, there's so many categories you can shop, get your stuff from there. So I don't think that's really hurting her. But when it comes to social media, you're probably like, well, Arrington, what's going to be alternatives for her to put out her content that she's mentioned? Obviously, she's going to put it on Patreon, shorts through YouTube. But there is a platform called Fanbase. Now, I'm still learning Fanbase. That is a growing social media platform, again, minority owned. The founder of Fanbase, Isaac Hayes III, the son of the Isaac Hayes, the very famous singer, actor, philanthropist, however you would like to call me, Shaft legend, man, legend. His son is a part of that, and I've heard a lot about fan base through like Roland Martin. I've heard a lot of it through social media, through social media, and other entities. Like I said, I'm still learning fan base because I'm just, it's a platform where when you're new to it, you got to try and find your audience. When you're in the ground up stage, it takes some time. Now, I'm not a public figure to the status of an Amanda Seals. It could be an easier process for her, but that's an avenue where she can use and put out her content and all that good stuff. So really, it's not taking a huge loss for her or for anybody. But again, I'll always say that, it's folks like her that are practicing what they preach. She is a true passionate person with her values. She does not back down from nobody. What she stands for is what she stands for. Like she said, she's already been protesting other spots prior to when the whole DEI program, these companies were ending their DEI program. So yes, that is that. Amanda Seals has announced she is leaving the Meta platform. So if you are a follower of hers on Instagram, you would just have to stay afloat and subscribe to her newsletter, subscribe to her YouTube channel to stay afloat with her. I enjoy it. She used to have a radio show on Radio One or Urban One. Excuse me, Urban One, yeah. For quite some time. And all of a sudden she has mentioned on social media that they canceled her radio show. She's not too happy about it. She's took some personal shots about it, but she's like, I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm going to be creating my own grassroots independent media. I'm cool. I'm fine with that. I've already built great relationships with folks. My voice is my tool. My voice is my money maker, and it really is for her. She sings, she can act, she does stand-up comedy, she she has a platform on YouTube. She has a YouTube show. Like, the girl is fire. I will say the girl is fire. I hope to be like her someday. But yeah, so the last we got about 2 minutes left, so I will continue on about more of our conversation that we didn't hit today on our next show. I didn't get the opportunity to talk about the first 100 days, stuff that's happening within the first 100 days. Also in the pop culture world, look, apparently there's a part 2 of a sit down interview on Club Shay Shay with Cat Williams. Apparently there's going to be part 2 that Shannon Sharp is hinting at. Also, CNN loses one of their notable anchors because they are in the process of doing a huge shakeup with the liberal network over there. So we will talk more about that on the next show. But as always, my friends, thank you so much for staying with me for this hour here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to do so Monday through Fridays, every day, 5 days a week. Okay, 5 days a week. And we're available on all digital and streaming platforms. Okay, digital and streaming platforms, YouTube, Rumble, all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcast, you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. ARRINGTON. Last name Gavin, GAVIN. Look it up. Look it up. You can also tune into my radio show on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. On their platform out of the Metro Atlanta area. Peace and blessings, my friend. Take care. Be sure to tune into the next show. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm out.